Hey everyone, Rustbelt Collector here. Today I'm taking a look at the brand new for 2023 LEGO Star Wars set 75345, the 501st Clone Trooper Battle Pack. For me, this is probably my most anticipated set of all 2023, and I think a lot of fans probably feel similarly because there's Clone Troopers in a battle pack. What's not to love? Now this set comes with 119 pieces and it retails for $19.99, so it is unfortunate that we are up to $20 for a pack like this, but I think just like with everything these days, the price increase is just kind of something we have to come to terms with. With this set, what you see is pretty much what you get. You get 4 minifigures, the Clone Officer, the Clone Specialist, and 2 Clone Heavies, as well as this mini build of the AV7 Republic Cannon. Now for what it's worth, this little build is actually quite fun to piece together. There's not a lot of repetition apart from the legs, and it is a good build. It's got some good articulation. You can move the legs, you can pose the legs if you maybe wanted it to be a little bit more up and down vertical with the legs. The barrel element articulates forward and back, and of course it has the spring-loaded blaster that we're kind of used to. However, one thing I really appreciate here is that spring-loaded element is very nicely hidden within the build. So if you're not a fan of it like I am, I usually just either remove or cover up the spring-loaded elements when I get a set. The nice thing is here, it really doesn't need to be hidden once you remove the little the projectile. And of course you can place a standard minifigure there on the side to kind of pilot it and target the enemies. And for a build in a $20 set, this feels pretty good, I would say. It's not minifigure scale. I would say this is about half size to what a minifigure scale AV7 should be, but it still has some nice play features and it fits in well with the Republic aesthetic. Once you complete the build, you are left over with a few pieces, with some being very, very nice inclusions. So you do have 2 projectiles here. Those aren't technically extra. You have a few assorted small pieces from the build. You get 2 extra blue cast visors for the clone troopers, as well as 3 blue antennae, and 1 of the new macro binocular element, which is a very, very nice inclusion. I'll show you that in a minute. And there is also an extra 1x1 tile printed with this new backpack print. And this is also an excellent inclusion because as long as you have a neck bracket, you can have an extra backpack for your clone army. But of course, for a set like this, the real highlight are the minifigures, and we have some very excellent ones here today. Now, it's my understanding that the reference here for these characters is kind of a cross between Battlefront 2, the new one from EA and DICE, and also a bit of inspiration from the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, because we do see some Clone Trooper variants in that game. Starting things off, we have the Clone Officer with the antenna, as well as a blue printed belt instead of the standard white belt, and a printed cama on his legs. And underneath the helmet, we have the standard new updated Clone Trooper print that we've been getting. I really do like this face printing, but it would be nice to start seeing some variation, similar to how we've gotten variation with the Snow Trooper Battle Pack. Give us some facial hair, give us some changed expressions, really make the Clone Troopers stand out a little bit. Following that up, we have the Clone Trooper Specialist, or the Clone Trooper Sniper, however you want to refer to it as, and it does kind of look like a standard 501st Clone Trooper until you look very, very closely. And right there on the chest, you can see those 2 little yellow hash marks. Those are the markings for the 501st Specialist, so it's nice that they included those. It's just a very subtle thing that you can almost miss when you're putting the figures together. And of course, this is where we see that brand new macro binocular element. It attaches with the new holes in this sculpted helmet, and it can articulate up and down. And this is where that extra pair of macro binoculars from this set come in handy, because if you have the ATTE with the 212th Clone Trooper that has that newly updated helmet, you can just attach the macro binoculars to it, and now you have a unique version of the 212th if you want to maybe customize some of the figures in that set, make them different from each other, or perhaps if you were planning an Umbara mock or something like that, this would make an awesome Umbara clone trooper. And while the old 501st Battle Pack does not have the holes drilled in the helmet, it's a very simple thing to just pop and swap those over, and then now you have the 212th and the 501st from Umbara. I just find that those little tweaks that you can do to a figure to make it unique are what really make army building action figures or LEGO more exciting and interesting when it's on the shelf. And then finally, we get two identical Clone Trooper heavies, also based on the Battlefront 2 design. This figure comes with a blaster that I believe is meant to represent the TL-50 from Battlefront 2, but it could just also represent, a generic blaster rifle for this character. This figure features not only a unique chest print, but also a unique helmet print. You can see the standard 501st markings on the left, whereas the heavy here on the right has the same panels on his helmet. I don't really know what they're called, but the same paneling as Commander Cody. Turning him around, you can see where that backpack element comes into play, and both figures have one as well as that extra element. So technically you kind of get three backpacks here, which is really, really awesome. This is a brand new printed element for this set, and I think it's going to be very popular among Clone Trooper enthusiasts because it's a great element to add to really any Clone Legion. It's not exclusive or specific to the 501st Heavy. And underneath that backpack, we actually have the strapping printed to kind of follow over from the chest printing, which is really, really nice. And as I mentioned before, they all have the same generic Clone Trooper face that we've kind of gotten used to. So all in all, I think that this is a pretty great battle pack to pick up for 20 bucks. One thing that I really do appreciate that LEGO is doing with these battle packs is incorporating them with other sets. So previous to this, we got the Snow Trooper battle pack, and that went along with the UCS AT-AT. So it allowed you to get a lot of troopers to fill up your AT-AT. And this battle pack, of course, kind of corresponds with the last Clone Trooper pack that we got, though it's not technically a battle pack, where we got the 3 standard 501st Troopers and the Jet Trooper. This seems to be a new approach from LEGO on how to do the battle packs, because in previous years it seemed to be slightly random. You got the 212th battle pack, and just the Clone Trooper battle pack, and then the Kashyyyk battle pack. It seemed more random and less collaborative with other sets, whereas now we're getting things that coincide with other releases, and I do appreciate that. Now, as I mentioned, I really enjoyed this set. The build was fun, the figures are nicely detailed and printed. However, there are a few cons that I wanted to list here. I don't think that these are major cons to the set, but they are just things that stood out to me, and I want to make note of them in this video. So first and foremost, I love the assortment of figures that we got, the Officer, the Specialist, and the Heavy. However, I don't think that they make very good battle pack army builder figures. These are, after all, Specialist Clone Troopers. You wouldn't see an army of heavies or an army of snipers or an army of officers. You would typically see an army of just the standard troopers that we got in the $25 battle pack in 2020. So because of that, I'm probably only going to get a couple of these packs and then be done, because there's not a lot of army building to be done here. I don't really want more heavies or specialists or officers than I have of the standard 501st Trooper. The other gripe that I have here is just that this is a printed Kama. I had the same gripe with the Republic Fighter Tank. I just wish that they went with the soft goods Kama. It looks so much better, especially because the printing doesn't wrap around to the side of the legs. It's just like a little stripe there on the side, and it doesn't look very good. Previously, with the General Grievous Starfighter, we did get a soft goods Kama for the Airborne Trooper with the updated printing. However, they stopped doing it immediately after this one, and we never got it again. Maybe it's a cost thing, but if we're paying $20 for a battle pack with only 119 pieces, I think soft goods would be the least that we could get. And my final gripe, though none of these are really deal breakers for the battle pack, I still really liked it, like I said. I just wish that they had printed the little visor on this macro binocular. I think it would have just made it pop really nicely, and I'm going to upset a lot of LEGO purists here, but if you are really bothered by that, there is a very simple solution, and it's called a Sharpie. And with very minimal effort, you have this, which I think just makes it look that much better. It's a very nice little pop of contrast in there. It's also more accurate to what it looks like in all forms of Star Wars media, so this is probably what I'm going to do with all of mine. I know, again, it's very sacrilegious to do this to LEGO, but I just think that it looks so good that it's worth it. So finally, as we wrap this video up, I just wanted to show all of the new 2020 style printed Clone Troopers that we have gotten since the first release in the 501st Legion Clone Trooper pack. And there we have it. These are all the uniquely printed Clone Troopers that we have gotten since the first release of this new print back in 2020. I am really impressed with the assortment and variety of clones we've gotten from LEGO. I think the two big standouts for me, and probably the most unexpected to me, were the Commander Cody Phase 2 and the 187th Legion Clone Trooper. Those two are probably my favorites right now, with third place probably going to this Airborne Trooper. That figure is really hard to get, and I hope that they do a re-release soon. But yeah, it's very much appreciated how far LEGO has gone to give us variety with these new clones. I know some people feel very negatively about the helmets with the new holes above the earpieces. Personally, it has grown on me, and I don't mind it that much. I'm just very happy to be getting so much clone variety in these LEGO minifigures. One thing I will say though is that the majority of these are 501st Legion related. Even the Jet Trooper and the 332nd, they still fall within the 501st Legion. The 187th Legion was a good direction to go, as well as the 212th. I really do appreciate that. And the 187th was a bit of a deep cut, and I really do appreciate that we got that. I would never have expected LEGO to do that. However, now that we have a good assortment of 501st, I would love to see them branch into new Legions and new repaints of this design. The only exception would be if we got a Captain Rex in this new printing style. He's a very rare figure, and I think we kind of need him in this new style just to complete the 501st Legion, the same way that we've completed the 212th with Clone Commander Cody there. But that is where I'm going to wrap up this review. So I hope you liked it. I hope you found it helpful if you were kind of on the fence about getting this pack or not. I'd appreciate it if you would leave a like on this video and consider subscribing if you're new to the channel. And as always, if you want to keep up with the channel for updates as well as new toy releases and just toy related content in general, there is a link down in the description to my Instagram where you can follow me, and I post new reveals, toy photography, and a whole lot of other stuff, so follow me over there if you want to keep up with the channel. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening, noon, or night, depending on when you're watching this video, of course. And as always, I will catch you all in the next video.